Welcome, Dolphins fans, haters, and everyone in between to your favorite show discussing the greatest franchise in sports, the Miami Dolphins. This is the FhinsPod. My name is Moose, your host, and the Phins signed back Elandon Roberts yesterday on a one-year deal. And I'm not going to lie, this really confused me a little bit, specifically when you consider where it seemed like the Dolphins wanted to go at that position. Younger and cheaper. And I don't know, we've talked about it before, but I don't really see the long-term vision for a guy like Elandon Roberts here in Miami. We're going to get into that, but also his former teammate in both New England and Miami, one Kyle Van Noy, had some choice words, to say the least, for the Dolphins organization during his reintroductory press conference to the New England media. Listen, we respect what you did here last year, Kyle, but you step at the pod, and the pod will sure as hell be stepping back. Let's dive in.
Second and 10. Brown is hit for a loss coming through. Elandon Roberts, who was shaken up in the first half, and he returns in a huge way.
If you asked me first thing yesterday morning, hey Moose, where do you see Miami's needs at linebacker? I would have probably said something like this. Well, listen, we got rid of Kyle Van Noy, so that means that the front office is telling us that there wasn't enough return on investment at the position from a monetary standpoint. And you heard that right, Van Noy, not enough return on investment. Releasing Van Noy did obviously leave a hole, and as we've discussed over the last couple of weeks, it's safe to assume that Miami would be operating with a rotation of Andrew Van Ginkel, Jerome Baker, and Benardrick McKinney, with Van Ginkel at strong side, Baker on the weak side, and McKinney primarily playing inside backer. In terms of depth, Miami had guys to back up each position. For Van Ginkel, Miami would likely have a rotation of Vince Beagle and recently signed Brennan Scarlett. On the weak side, spelling Jerome Baker was Sam McGuavin and recently acquired Duke Riley from the Eagles. And at the interior, behind McKinney, the Dolphins have Calvin Munson and developmentally Kylan Johnson out of Pitt. I felt like going forward, it made sense for Miami to fill in the gaps, and there are gaps here, specifically in terms of, that depth in the linebacking core. And there's some weak spots behind Baker and McKinney specifically, more so than Van Ginkel. Another reason Kyle Van Noy was expendable. And I would have expected the Dolphins to try and draft a legitimate weak side linebacker who could develop into a coverage specialist, but also contribute in the running game. Obviously, what I just described is extremely difficult to do and just as hard to find. Think about that. You have the skill set to bang between the tackles and take on pulling offensive guards, as well as shed blocks with upper body strength, but then also have the speed and quickness to chase down running backs to the edge and then cover athletic tight ends. Not to mention, even if you have that body type and overall athletic profile, in which case, bravo, you've probably lived a great life, you also need to be an intelligent and wily player in order to make the most of those gifts. Remember Neville Hewitt? He's had a nice little career, but physically, that man can do it all. He was just too slow to react and would get washed down and out of plays far too often. So if you could combine a guy like Hewitt's skill set with, the mindset of a McKinney, well then holy crap, you got, an elite linebacker. But those guys are just really hard to find. So to find those guys, you either have to, have good scouting and land a Jerome Baker in the middle rounds, or you make sure to take them high up in the draft. The other place Miami could have looked to add a piece via the draft was at interior linebacker. We need more run-stuffing guys. That's clear from last year. And look, the Dolphins agreed. But what they did not agree on was where to find him. I thought the draft, instead, FLORES and Greer went with familiarity and brought back Elandon Roberts. Remember, Roberts finished last season on IR due to a shoulder injury. He's going to be all good to go to camp, according to everything I've heard, and he's still only going to be 27 entering the season. I know a lot of you guys out there are fans of this move, but I'm not. I never liked Elandon Roberts, and the reason is simple. He's a one-trick pony. Now, is that trick extremely satisfying to watch and explosive? Absolutely. Elandon Roberts is best described as a bullet on the field. When he's actually able to diagnose the offense's plan and be able to determine the flow of the play and his gap responsibility, oh boy, does he come downhill and deliver some blows. I think a lot of us can remember those moments and plays, and for that reason, people speak of him favorably. You see on social media, people were pretty pleased when he was re-signed. But what happens when a gun misses its target? Where does that bullet go? Well, in the case of football, the bullet in this case, Elandon Roberts, will shoot the wrong gap, overcommit, not react soon enough, or just get washed out completely. A lot of those 4 to 6 yard chunk runs we would angrily watch the Dolphins defense allow last season were not all on the defensive line. The linebackers have gap responsibilities there too, and I believe Elandon Roberts was definitely partially to blame on some of those plays. I would have rather seen the Dolphins save the roster spot and the cap space for another guy, maybe brought in a linebacker via the draft. But hey, Elandon Roberts could take another step in development. Like I said, he's only 27. Maybe having to watch the game from the sidelines and take mental reps for weeks really helped him get better and understand his keys to make sure he doesn't miss his assignments. If Flores believes they can clean up his play and make the bullets hit more consistently, if we're going to stick with that analogy, then damn, this could be a good move. I just have far less faith based on what I saw when he was with New England and a good portion of last season with the Dolphins. I guess this episode really is about some Patriots linebackers, huh? Because we have a salty Sally living up in New England.
Hey, Kyle, after being gone for a year down in Miami, what does it mean to you to be back on that Patriots team, back on that defense with head coach Bill Belichick?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. I think when you have one of the greatest, if not the greatest, coach in the game and a defensive mind pick you, I think that speaks volume of who he thinks I'm as a player, which is awesome to have someone have confidence in you and your game, and to be back and play with the fans and somewhere where I've started my legacy there and be able to continue it hopefully and do what I can on the field and off the field. That's gonna I can't ask for it much more.
What was it like being, I guess, on the outside, being an AFC East division rival, going up against Bill in the Patriots? Was that a little weird now that you're back here?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I know everything they do down there, and it's gonna be good.
The Patriots, they go 7-9 last year, and you were part of making them have that season with the loss the second time around. But any delight that you took in them losing, and all the people who've been peeing on the Patriots' grave for the last few months, do you have an opportunity now to give everybody a big can of shut the F up about Bill Belichick and the Patriots?
Yeah, I think that would be nice.
I know you mentioned kind of playing with an edge and guys are hungry for a variety of reasons. So I want to go back just to the statement that you kind of put out about being disappointed when you got cut in Miami. Do you think now getting to see them twice a year, that kind of chip on your shoulder or that edge, you'll feel that a little bit more getting to play them now twice a year?
Sure. We'll see.
Bro, Kyle Van Noy is the epitome of a jock who got rich and thinks he understands shit now, huh? A little Kyrie. I vividly remember you joining the Dolphins from the Patriots for more money about a year back. I remember you glowingly speaking about how you came here for Brian Flores and believed he could turn things around, which he did. You also talked smack about the Pats and tried your damnedest to ingratiate yourselves with the fans, sold a bunch of merch to them on Twitch, and did a great job with your brand. Listen, all love on that front, but then business becomes business. Football is a business here, and you got $15 million to just have a decent season. And when the Dolphins made assessments at the end of their year in the best interest of their team and decided to save that money and move on, rather than understanding what's up, that this is a business, you now turn around and act like the last 12 months didn't happen? Why? Because Kyle Van Noy is emotionally soft. He feels like the Dolphins gave up on him, and he wants to stick it back to Brian Flores. That's all fine and dandy. Let a player believe that, but that's not the reality. What I learned, the Dolphins, and specifically the head man B-Flow, does not give a damn about your relationship when it comes to the success of his team. And good. He doesn't care if any individual player feels like their leadership qualities or their toughness, as Van Noy made sure to tell everyone, make them qualified to get overpaid for their production on winning football teams. He's gonna get rid of your ass and upgrade the situation. So good luck up north. Unlike the Dolphins, at least we know you're definitely gonna be needed up there, Kyle. So it's a perfect spot for you to feel special.
Kyle, the defense, the story of the night. You guys had the takeaways, the sacks, and eliminated the big plays. What allowed this defense to finally come together tonight?
I think it was just collectively over this entire training camp in the last couple of games trying to figure out our identity. And tonight was a good testament of how hard we've been working as a unit. And boy, it feels good to win. I mean, Flo's been kicking our ass, and we finally showed up and showed out tonight. It's fun to get turnovers. It's fun to celebrate with your teammates and get a dub.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the FhinsPod. That's going to do it for us here. I really hope you enjoyed the show today. If you want more of the show, check out patreon.com/FhinsPod. For literally $2 a month, you can listen to bonus episodes. And the site has some other goodies as well. Link is in the description or head to patreon.com/FhinsPod. Thank you guys so much for the support. Please remember to like the video if you enjoyed the show and subscribe just so you never miss a chance to chat about your Miami Dolphin. Remember that the FhinsPod is available on all platforms, Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, and of course, YouTube. Continue the conversation with us over on Twitter and Instagram at FhinsPod and check out the site for news and content, phinspod.com. I hope you have an amazing day, and until next time, stay safe. Love y'all.